Yeah.
We live, baby.
Hey, Nate, I love you. So listen, everybody, everybody, welcome to another limited edition of
Limit.
the Family Talk.
Yes, sir.
We at the barbecue, you at the barbecue. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Not just to the Facebook page, go to our YouTube page.
Tell them,
Not
Nick.
just our YouTube page, go to our Instagram page. Nick, what's up?
Tell them,
What's
Nick.
up, Nick?
What's going on?
Go ahead and tell them,
Tell them
bro.
what's up.
Like, subscribe, and do everything you like to do. It's
Yeah,
family talk.
Yeah.
Let's get it.
There you go. There you go. Listen. This is going to be an amazing topic. I can't wait for this. This is going to be great. We want everybody to chime in, but just to let you know, you here with the family. You got Chef Jimbo in the house.
You got B.
Got Nick.
You got Nate.
Coach A.
Johnny Drip just waking up. So
Johnny Drip.
I'll say his name for him.
I got it, the fuck it, it's all good. It's all good. Straight up, it's all good. Tell him it's all good. Tell him I ain't mad if they ain't know. You know I ain't mad if you love it. Can't nobody overtake this moment from me. So nigga, while I got it, the fuck it, it's all good.
Yeah, sir.
Ali. Hey, come on and send us your email, man. Come on and hop on this today, man.
Yeah, man.
We need all the fellas, all the ladies chime in. Let us know what's up, man.
A faithful family member that continuously watches, man. Come on. We'd love to have you at the barbecue, man.
Yeah, what's up,
All right.
Ali?
So listen, ladies and gentlemen. I can't wait for Professor Stokes to come on because I know he got a.
It seemed like he's trying to make an entrance.
Hey, you sent an email to Justin?
Yeah, I sent it to Justin.
Yeah. All right. So listen, man. I know Justin got a lot to say too, but listen. Today, our topic today is toxic masculinity versus masculinity.
Yes,
Is there a such thing as toxic masculinity? You know, my whole thing is that if it's toxic, then it can't be masculinity. You know what I'm saying? Don't answer that. That's rhetorical.
Okay.
So before we start off, you know what I like to do. I like to go and find out the definition of things. So I went to Merriam-Webster dictionary. The definition of masculinity: the quality or nature of a male sex, the quality, state, or degree of being masculine or manly. So and let's go down the line. Can everybody do me a favor? Give starting with B. Go ahead and tell us how do you look at masculinity? Are there certain traits, personality traits, or character, or like action, or like what makes someone masculine? Is it just because they're a man, or is it something that they do say, or what? Break it down. Your perspective.
My perspective of masculinity, testosterone. That's the first thing that comes to my head because a lot of men that walk around here has a lot of testosterone and like to confuse that with masculinity. I think it has a little bit to do with a person's character and how they were raised, depending on who they were raised by.
Remember, there's no right answer, guys.
I know, no, it's really no right answer. It's because it's all going to be commutative into one. But let me just say that I don't think I walk around with the masculinity trait. I only do it, and I only do it because my girl thinks it's awesome when I do certain things. So if she think it's tight, listen. So listen. So if I'm fixing something around the house and that's masculine, and if that get her going, I'm gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? But I don't try to walk around here and be all masculine. You know what I'm saying? I feel like men should do certain things and men should act certain ways. That I do feel that, but I don't really walk around here poking my chest out and nothing like that. I do believe there is some type of toxic masculinity because I do believe some dudes taking a little bit too far, trying to be the manliest man of all, trying to be better than the next man. I'm not like that, man. I like to be a part of a group, a family. There's no I'm better than you type of deal. I think I had this conversation with Drip through text. Man, we want to see everybody win around here. So this masculinity thing, I love to talk. I love for us to talk about stuff like this. Nate, what's your problem?
You already we had discussed.
We just
talked about this.
Yeah,
we just talked about this.
We just had this discussion about everybody winning, huh?
Yeah, we had that discussion too.
Yeah, but that's a completely different topic, though. That was
a different topic. But yeah, man, that's my overall view. I'm really excited to see what everybody else gonna say about this. But like I said, only time I really show my masculinity if the old lady she start winking at your boy. So like, all right.
Better gonna throw an oil on your chest and stuff.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Keep it PG, guys. Keep it PG.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But yeah, man, that's my take. What's wrong,
Nick? We waiting on you, Nick.
Oh, you waiting on me? I hear you.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, I think it's more of like a machismo type thing, like Brandon was saying. People got pump their chest out or whatever. But as far as for me, nah, I ain't with all that. So I'm gonna keep it short and simple.
Nate Dogg.
Nate, say what's on your mind. Say what's on your mind.
The only thing I'm gonna say is I guess, when it comes to that, it only comes to me when I'm playing sports. And that's we just talking about that actually with the whole winning thing.
But is that really masculinity? Or is that just being a competitor?
Yeah, it's a difference between.
But I guess sometimes being a competitor and y'all don't think so? It can come like hand in hand in a way.
It does.
Ali, we just giving our opinion what toxic masculinity is.
I thought he just asked about masculinity.
No, masculinity,
not toxic.
Oh, okay, my bad. But go ahead, Nate.
Well, first of all, everybody has it. Every single person on this earth has masculinity traits inside them, and it comes out at different times. So, to me, the masculinity portion is connected to, male traits. Like anytime you step up to protect somebody, or you step up to take control, or, you know what I'm saying, and play a dominant role in any type of environment, then you're displaying some type or form of masculinity. So that's the definition of masculinity to me. So everybody has it. Even women, everybody has it at some point.
Even women, huh?
Yeah, absolutely.
Johnny Drip. Johnny Drip.
And for me, it's how you carry yourself as a man. Yeah. You can hear me?
Yeah,
we can hear
you.
Can you hear me?
Just lagging.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, because y'all wasn't responding. Okay. It's how you carry yourself as a man.
Oh, okay then. All right.
Well, all right then.
Hey,
That's it.
he kept
Period.
it short and sweet. Boy.
Yeah.
So as an interviewer, this is the proper time when you would go and, hey, could you tell me more about what you mean about what you say? This is what we was talking about earlier, guys. But I'm not gonna do that right now. We're just gonna keep moving. All right. So one of the things, the reason why I put this on our calendar, on our list, is because I was seeing a couple things in the media and things like when you have men do things like domestic violence or sexually assaults a woman or whatever it may be, and then or even if someone says something negative about the LGBT community, you have people say like, oh, that right there, that's what you call toxic masculinity, or you have a man that's very aggressive or very assertive, and they will call it toxic masculinity. And I was thinking about it. I was like, well, if you got to call it toxic masculinity, then is it really masculinity? You know what I'm saying? Maybe when I look at stuff like that, I think that's just a character flaw within that person. You can't try to tie that into masculinity. And it just, and it's just like with anything, with any other community, with Christians or the LGBT, or somebody does something bad, they be like, well, that has everything to do with them and not our group. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I just want to go ahead and break that down a little bit more when it comes to toxic masculinity and masculinity. I have a child right here. Give me 1 second. Yes, what do you want?
Hey, this is family talk.
Okay.
Yeah. This is family talk.
Good job.
All children are invited.
So y'all, some of the traits that I see and that I think when it comes to masculinity is, of course, strength. And I'm like Coach A, women can show some of these as well, some more than others, strength, courage, leadership, assertiveness. That's just a few. Oh, and one that I really feel is really important and just shows, hey, turn it down. One that shows is really important to me is being able to control your emotions. I think that is masculinity. I feel like if you can't control your emotions, now that's not masculinity. That's something else, but we'll leave that for another day.
Hey, we can pull that up today.
And also another very important one to me is respect, showing respect to others.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you can't show respect to others, that's not mature. That's not masculinity under any circumstance. You know what I'm saying? That's a couple points that I'll stop right there on. Anybody else want to explain anything else about any of their comments that they want to go ahead and cook? I'm gonna let y'all cook right now.
Well, I agree with what you was David. Nate funny. I agree with everything you just said. Like you said, especially respect level, holding and taking care of your emotions. My mama tell us all the time, you are entitled to your own emotions. No one else is entitled to your emotions but yourself. And so I'm looking at Donna's comments, but communication. Yeah, communication. Okay. Communication is a huge one as well. Boys whine, men speak. Absolutely. That goes around that emotion thing. You know what I'm saying? Maturity is also a huge thing surrounded with that masculinity. But I just wanted to just take a note of what you were saying, Jimmy. All that you just saying, I totally agree with.
All right. So have any of you guys seen any of this in the media, social media, on the news? Have y'all seen anything about people talking about toxic masculinity and things like that?
I don't
think they even watch the news.
Nah, I really don't.
That's probably why.
I stay away from everything negative.
No comment
Ain't,
on
ain't
that.
nothing wrong with that, Nate. Ain't nothing wrong with
No,
saying
I
what
wanted
Nah,
to say something to Nate,
I
but
just,
we
no, say
live.
what you got to say, Jimmy.
No, we
We all
live. We
live.
live.
We live, baby. No, I just don't. I don't watch news though. To be honest, I don't watch news. I don't watch TV that much, to be honest. So if it ain't on Facebook, I can't find it.
Well, that's a form of news.
It's only true
Yeah,
if it's
but
on
I'm saying,
Facebook.
right?
It's only
But I'm
true
saying
if it's on
Facebook don't
Facebook.
always show you everything that's going on in the world. It just shows you what the people on your list is putting on there. So if it ain't got nothing to do with the news, I'm not seeing it.
Okay. So what do you guys have to say about? Because I can say as well. We have a lot of men around today that's very express their emotions in different ways. That's what
Yes.
we'll say that to be nice to those gentlemen because they might get offended.
Some of them ain't gentlemen.
Coach A been telling me about this, so you see I'm working on that, Coach A. We're gonna keep it nice. So what do y'all say about the gentlemen who say that they're masculine, but they express their emotions in an absolute absurd way? But what about these emotional men? Like, what are some of y'all thoughts on that? Like, why are they so emotional? Like, why if their girlfriend don't call them back within a day, instead of them calling like, hey, I just want to check up, see what's wrong with you, and they just want to blow everything up. Like, hey, they at your house, they got the pistol in their hand. Like, what's up with these overly emotional guys?
That's a bunch of. I can't stand overly emotional. I can't stand overly emotional people. It's not just men. I can't stand overly emotional people because sometimes you don't have to go there to prove a point, and you don't have to do all that to prove a point. So it's
Here we
people,
go.
not just men.
Look at this guy.
hey, let me stop for 1 second and
Skywalker.
Dr. Skywalker.
Dr. Skywalker.
Hey, welcome to
Honey
the
Nut
barbecue.
Cheerios.
He over there eating cereal, drinking orange juice.
Honey
Dr.
Nut.
Skywalker. The question of the day, in your perspective, in your eyes, what is masculinity? What shows that a man is masculine, or what are tricks that you see?
Be nice to the public, Doc.
I mean, if you're asking what's masculine, it's being a man without having to. It's like being a man without having to say it. You know what I'm saying? Like handling your responsibilities, doing what you're supposed to do without being told. You know what I'm saying? That's what being a man is. That's masculinity. It's like, you gotta take out the trash. Something on my girl car, she ain't gotta ask me to look at it. I'm gonna look at it. It's just handling your man role. And that's what being a man is. This is like handling your business. You a grown man, you know what you're supposed to do. Ain't nobody gotta tell you what you're supposed to do.
So it makes you a man if you do things without being told what to do.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, you gotta tell little kids. You gotta tell little kids to do stuff.
Okay.
Like if some of y'all got sons, how many times you gotta tell y'all sons to take out the trash? Like take out the trash. All right.
You know what? Right. You know what? It takes a lot. Sometimes it takes a lot. However,
getting whooped if you don't do
it. However, he is getting a whole lot better with just doing it on his own. So because Jody right, the more I have to say it, the more he gonna realize it and do it. Oh, Ali say I don't with my son. All right, Ali.
So Dr. Skywalker. Okay, he disappeared on me.
Disappeared.
What's up?
Oh, he's still there. He here.
All right. So until he come back. Oh,
no,
all right. Right now, we just gonna catch you up, man. Straight. So do you believe in the fact that there is toxic masculinity?
I believe and there's a little bit of toxic masculinity, but my problem is the people who say it. That's my problem. First of all, Coach A, that's a banging background back there. You got there, boy. I take it.
We ain't here for that.
we always here for that.
I believe that there can be a little bit toxic masculinity. It gets to a point where it's like, as a man, you got to be able to express yourself and not be mad at the world. Like we talked about mental health issues, especially with men. Once you cross that line of being like, oh, I got 20,000 things going on, but I don't want to talk to nobody. It's like, because I'm a man. Like, nah, you ain't got to be all like that. That's why I think like toxic masculinity kind of plays a little bit of part, especially when it comes to your mental health. If you know, around here with high blood pressure and you stressing yourself out 24/7 because you can't rely on nobody or talk to nobody, then I think that then you start to dwell into a place where it's toxic masculinity. It's like, stop letting somebody skew, perceptive of what a man is, like mess you up and stress you out and, you know what I'm saying, slowly kill yourself. So once you start doing that, there is a little bit of part of it where it's like, you know, toxic masculinity. It was like, hey, you know, but the thing is, it's like who it's coming from. Like, I'll accept it from another man. Like, hey, bro, you're doing too much. You're trying to be a manly man. Like, you need to slow your roll, break it down, talk to somebody, figure things out. But what I will not do is take being called a toxic masculinity man from these overly sensitive men that Jimbo was talking about and these females. Because I'd be damn if a female with no daddy and no boyfriend tell me I'm being toxic masculinity. You never had your life. Don't tell me what a man is. It's like, nah. And that's why I think.
But they know what a man is, though. You did what I'm saying?
How? You never
That's what they gonna tell you. They gonna tell you
God.
that I know what a man is. I know how a man's supposed to act.
Right.
That's what they gonna tell you.
And where yours at?
So what if the toxic masculinity is affecting them? They not allowed to say nothing to you?
Yeah, they're definitely allowed to say something to you, but then at the same time, that's when you being a man. That's what comes for her is how to approach you with it. You know what I'm saying? If it's affecting them and they come to you and be like, hey, babe, I see you stressing out. You kind of angry all the time. Come talk to me. Let's figure this thing out. You know what I'm saying? That it comes from how they approach you because you already got 1,000 things going on. But when they come to you with that, you know, emotional mess, it's like you can't come to a man who's going through that in an emotional state because he's not thinking with an emotional state. He's thinking with like a you know how us men think. We have to always thinking with common sense. So it's just like when you come to him like that, you gotta come correct. Otherwise, you're gonna get a negative result on it. So yeah, she can speak. She just has to be careful about how she speaks and what she says because sometimes it just doesn't pan out the way she wants it to do. But for the most part, I think the problem is it's not enough masculinity in this world because like we want all our sons and boys to be sensitive all of a sudden. And it's like that's not how it's supposed to be. Like Jimbo was just saying, it's like you a dude and you call a girl, she don't call you back. But you don't need to be at her house with a pistol and doing all that extra stuff. Like, what you doing?
Real talk.
Because she ain't answer the phone. And I'm gonna tell you what that is, right? That is what happens when men or boys are raised by single moms and they don't have fathers in their life. So they never have anybody to teach them how to control their emotions. And what happens is you got these grown behind men that ain't had nothing but females in their life. And they have the emotional capacity of a 30-year-old woman at 25. So, you know, wonder why he act like this. Because he ain't never had a man to tell him, like, bro, you got to chill out. You got to do this, that, and the third. So you got a bunch of grown-ass men walk around here acting like with the emotional capacity of their mama. That's when you get these toxic masculinity.
We was going to get there, too. Don't you worry. Fatherlessness. Hey, Justin, how long we got you?
About 10 minutes.
All right, so
What's up, Justin?
What's up, Justin?
Justin at work.
You got anything you want to cook on before you go?
I'm good. I'm just sitting here listening to all this good masculine toxicity.
Exactly, Justin.
Just sitting here absorbing it all, just trying to make sure that shit don't stick.
I was thinking the same thing, man. When as soon as we first started, it started emulating.
Like I'm not gonna disagree. Like I'm not going to. I think the thing that we have to start doing as we move forward is we have to start accepting change, right? So things are different. It's a different age. It's not 1940. It's not 1950. It's 2021. Okay. Now I agree that there are a lot of salty people in this world. There have always been a lot of salty people in this world. It didn't come from people being raised by single moms or single dads. It's because there are people that have zero idea how to control their emotions just because they don't know how to control their emotions. They've never, ever been put in check. It's not the parent's job to always do that, to be there for when a kid is having a fucking meltdown. That's not the thing. Because we all know that. Because when we were all out as a kid doing stupid stuff, your parents weren't there to put you in check. That was the people around you. Okay, so if you were slipping, your friends were supposed to catch you. It's not like that anymore. It's just a different era, and it's funny to sit there and you listen to. There's all these excuses as to why people do certain things. I seen this meme the other day of it's like what is it? It's like when the moons and the stars and shit align. It's like that shit doesn't matter, Becky. None of that shit mattered while you were treating that girl at Starbucks like an asshole. You treat her like an asshole because you're an asshole. That's true. That's true. And until somebody puts you in check for that, you're going to continue to do that. That's why I think it's hilarious when you see like all these Karen videos popping off on the internet where all these people that have never been told, "Hey, shut the fuck up." I'm not trying to listen. I'm not trying to listen to you. Shut the fuck up. I say that shit all the time. The Publix the other day, listen to this lady bitch about how I had my mask on. I just said, "Look, shut the fuck up." What your opinion is, I'm protecting myself, and by what I'm doing, technically I'm protecting you too. So
that was toxic.
Either you recognize it along
at its finest
and go about your day, or you shut the fuck up.
Just those words, "shut the F up," is the highest level of toxic masculinity.
I ain't got no time for that in my life. I'm just trying to buy pork chops and a baked potato. I shit you not, man. I literally stopped at the store for 10 minutes to get some stuff for dinner for 2 days for myself.
Hey, Donna said we need more than 10 minutes from Justin.
So exactly. So Justin, you just talked. I was on with you, man. You was talking about controlling your emotions, and then you just gave an example about not controlling emotions.
I'm bad about that. But I'll be honest with you though. Like I have zero filter. Now there's two Justins. There's the Justin that will flat out just walk past and ignore you, and I get great pleasure out of making you mad from that, because that does happen. Or there's the Justin that says, "Today is not the day. I'm going to let you know that today is not the day." And those key words again, you can shut the fuck up. It's not me trying to be toxic in any way, shape, or form. It's just that unless I come to you to talk about something, don't approach me.
So Justin,
I'm not very approachable anyway.
Quick question. The lady that was in the store talking to you about her mask, she hasn't been taught that that's not the proper way. So you don't think that your response should be taught, that there's a better way to respond to people like that?
There should be, and I tried.
He said no.
Beginning of all this stuff, I tried. I tried to be the better person. I tried to explain things, and I tried to that. We are well over a year at this point in this pandemic game. If you don't want to respect me and you want to say something to me, I'm at the end of my rope for that, and I'm just going to let you know that I think that what I think of you. And it's as simple as that. Like
meditation. Try some meditation, Jay.
And
we can't have you going off on everybody now.
I already told my chick at the beginning of this. I said, I already know that somebody's going to try me, and they're going to find out that these hands are rated E for everybody, and I'm going to have to.
Oh my gosh! Here we go.
Rated E for everybody.
Listen, we would not have.
I had set $2,500 aside for bail money, and I just pulled that so I could replace the AC on my house.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you did not understand toxic masculinity, you should be very versed in it now. Justin just explained it to a T.
Oh my God.
He is the post. It's going to be a picture of Justin up there. If you look it up in a dictionary, I'm voting to put Justin's picture up there because that was perfect.
This guy. But I mean, like I'm not a road rager. People get so bent out of shape about every little weird thing, right? And it's just, I get labeled as being toxic sometimes just because I do and will freely speak my mind. I don't always tell people to shut the fuck up. Like, I'm college educated. I have a decent vocabulary. Like, I can have a conversation with anybody. But it's just come to that point to where with certain things like this that I don't have the patience anymore. I just, had the lady just let me be, I wouldn't have said a thing to her. I would have walked right past her. Yet she just kept poking. And it's just like, if you're chasing after me to have this conversation about how I don't need to do this or how I don't need to do that, look, leave me the fuck alone, shut the fuck up, go buy whatever you need to buy, and I'm going to go this way like I was trying to do before.
People feel entitled when they gotta run after you to tell you about something. People feel so entitled.
Like your day is that shitty that you need to chase after me so I, and stop me from what I'm doing? No. Like, I don't need to hear you. That's your opinion. And we are all entitled to our opinion. We all are. That's the great thing about us being us. I don't need to know about it. Just like you don't need to know my opinion on everything else either.
Nick, you muted.
So, I mean, if you want to label me toxic, then that's what I am. But
no, that was a great incident.
But unless you go out of your way to do something like that, you never hear anything from me. I don't talk to people. I don't look at people. If you see me out in public, 9 times out of 10, I wear prescription glasses. Like I wear prescription sunglasses. I never take them off. And now with the mask, so like you never see my face. So like, me making, silly faces under my mask, you're never going to see that no more either. So it's like, why would you want to stop and talk to me? Unless it's like one of us, like we're friends and we're going to stop and, and catch up with each other. There's no reason to bother somebody with some BS like that. If anything, I would say that is more toxic than for me telling somebody to shut the fuck up. Because that incites the confrontation to provoke something out of somebody.
So did she say something negative to you, or she just struck up a conversation about your mask?
She called me. She goes, "You must be one of those stupid Democrats because you have your mask on still." And the government and our
she deserved that.
She deserved it.
I do that. To which I just
stand corrected then.
Lady, I don't care what your thought is. Leave me alone.
Yeah, I agree with you.
She kept poking, and then finally I said, I am loud. Like Jimmy and Nick can attest to it. Like when I get going, like I get fucking loud.
Embarrassing loud, right? Like
and correct. And like I know that the people at the front of the store heard me tell her, "Hey, shut the fuck up and leave me alone." And after that, you could definitely tell that she was scared and she left. But it's just like, why would you do that? Like, like why? Like I'm not, I don't have my kid in a stroller beating the shit out of my kid with a stick. Like I'm not doing anything bad that's imposing on anybody else.
But you gave her what she wanted, Justin. She wanted you to act up.
You would think but to see the fear in her eyes, I don't think she wanted that.
Well, only reason I say that because she kept poking. She did.
I mean, if it would be one thing if you and I had a conversation of like our feelings on that conversation, right?
Yeah.
To where you know me and I know you, and you and I can have a rational conversation.
Yeah.
If I didn't know you, why would I go into saying something like that, expecting to elicit a rational conversation of like intellectual wits? I don't know you. I've never met you a day in my life. What makes you think that today's the day to try this big fat white guy that I already look mean all the time? Like my girlfriend, they say women have permanent bitch face. She always says Justin has permanent dick face. Because I just look mad, like I look mad and like I'm unapproachable. But to your point, I'm toxic when it comes to stuff like that. If you want to throw the label on me, I am. But to be completely perfectly honest, like I love going through life with not talking to anybody anywhere at any time outside of like people that I'm friends with.
What you about to say, Dr. Skywalker?
Like Nick and Jimmy, I've met those guys here at work. They are two outstanding people. Everybody on this panel is outstanding as far as I'm concerned. We've all become friends and we know each other a little bit. You guys know each other far more than I know you guys. But we come into this we come into this every week where, the expectation is we're going to have a nice conversation. Like I'm not poking at A, I'm not poking at Nick, I'm not poking at anybody else. I poke fun at Jimmy for, his love for, for somebody else that I'm not going to mention.
King James go, man. I'll say it for
Don't worry, I got it back here.
But that's honestly,
let's not turn this conversation into a.
But that's just honestly, that's for fun, and that's something that I know that I can do with Jimmy because we have a friendship.
Right.
Like I'm not going to walk into a room full of strangers and be like, "Hey, yo, you guys see LeBron flop? You a bitch." I have no idea what response I'm going to, get out of somebody. I might get jumped. And then we really start talking about toxic masculinity.
Exactly.
I just feel like we're at a point in our lives right now where we're at, and this is part of it is where we talk about things so open and so freely, and people see that and they don't understand that there's a time and place for certain things, right? There's a time to try and have that conversation with somebody because you disagree with me still wearing a mask, or with how your feelings are about a certain person or a certain subject or a certain thing. Not every environment is open for that, and not everybody is open for that. I think so does anybody know anything about Cuba?
Not much.
All right, so the Cuban government has been horrible for years, but one of the things that they do for their people is everybody gets a college education. It might not be the Harvard level college education, but they get that. And then one of the things that I always thought was funny is because I'm a baseball fan, have been for a long time, is that there is a section of the government that pays people to go to these big open market squares and have conversations, basically arguments about baseball, because baseball is the Cuban national sport. And it's just, that is a platform for people to do that. Publix on a Wednesday afternoon at 3:35, in the afternoon is not a place for me to have a conversation with a stranger about some shit like that I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I signed on here this morning knowing that we were going to have a conversation about this type of thing. You going to do that in the middle of the Red Barn Flea Market, tomorrow afternoon when you're going to buy tomatoes with somebody?
Not Red Barn.
Not.
Not Red Barn.
Hey man, I grew up with the Red Barn. Don't be hating. Don't be hating. That's why I'm immune to all these diseases because I grew up in the Red Barn.
Hey, we all shout out to Red Barn Flea Market, man. We all love
Hey, but real
be in there
quick,
for hours.
Jody, I know you've been wanting to talk. We're gonna let you talk, but before you say that, listen to everybody that's tuned in right now. If you really support us, you really with us, do me a favor. Do us a favor, please. Go to the Facebook, go to the IG, go to the YouTube, like, share, subscribe. Jody, what you was about to say, Jody?
I just want to say I think me and Jack are brothers at this point because
hey man, you know what they say? Not all skin folks is kin folks, and I'm just a light skinned fella.
That's our guy. Justin is our guy, man.
I think what happened was she seen the white guy. And then expect a Negro response.
But I think part of it is like because of when people look at kind of like how today is, people make money off of this. Like people have, they have podcasts, they make money off this. There's a way to stream revenue off of this. So like people see these conversations, and it's just like, so they think that it's just kind of like okay to like do that kind of thing. It's like, if that's your opinion and that's your stance, that's fine. But to do that with like I said, if it's someone that when you want to have that conversation to where you can deep dive and try to see somebody else's opinion or point of view on it, that's fine. But if I'm going to ask, honestly, I don't really know Jody, but if I wanted to ask Jody something in public, I would approach him a little bit different. Be like, hey man, like I don't know you and you don't know me, but what's your thought on this and why do you do that? It wouldn't be like, hey man, why you got that stupid ass hat on backwards? It wouldn't be something like that because, I'm sorry, but when you try to, you say something a certain way, that just kind of elicits a certain response. To me, that it is a one-way street. Technically it's a two-way street, because you have the opportunity to just either address it a certain way and be the better person or the bigger person and walk away, or try to steer that conversation a little bit different, or you just go to right where I go to all the time, and that's shut the fuck up.
And that's what us toxic people do. We go straight to shut the
Correct. Correct. Because like I said, I mean, like, I go and, I go to the grocery store, I go to wherever. I'm not trying to make friends with nobody. I don't talk to people. If it's, if I was in Hobby Lobby and I seen Jimmy in there, I'd be like, for one, like, hey man, what you doing in here? They don't sell no LeBron in here. But I would sit there and catch up with my friend, because I actually know him. Right. And if as we're talking, if we're going to have a small minor discussion about something, we can do that because we're acquaintances, and I know that I can. If I ask him a legitimate question, if he wants to talk about it, he's going to talk about it. He's know that there's going to be no ill will when I ask him that question.
Mm-hmm. Question: when you told her to shut up, did she hit you with the? What did you just say? Did you hit
no,
you?
Let me tell you something. I've said some really rude shit in my day, because I tell most people flat out that I'm not a very good person. That's why I try to do stuff outside of work for like things, so I can try to be a better person than on the inside. I've never seen a white person's eyes get that big in my life. I'm surprised that she didn't call the cops. Like, I'm just truly shocked.
So did you just say you trying to be a better person?
I just said you was. Okay.
Justin, you said you was trying to be. You working on being a better person?
Always, well, in certain ways. So, like, I try to do things.
Okay, all right. That's exactly what I was. If you want to be a better person, you would try to be a better person. Otherwise, you go to the results.
That's why 9 times out of 10, I just try not to say nothing. Right?
Yeah.
But like, one of my biggest things that I absolutely love in life is the Food for Kids program that we do here. Mm-hmm. So we go out every day during the summer. We deliver food for kids in need that are hungry, that don't have an opportunity to get a free lunch from school. And I support that 100%. I support the American Cancer Society. We do cancer walks every year. I'm part of the Valor group here. Like, we support, wounded veterans, and we do all kinds of stuff through here. And it's just like, anything that I can do to support somebody else that needs a hand or needs a meal or anything like that, like, I'm 100% involved in it. What do we need to do? I will give you every bit of my time, because it's the right thing.
So let me ask you a question. What's the purpose of you doing those things? Supporting these groups?
Because I feel like it's the right thing to do.
So is it just to make you feel good, or do you do it for other people?
I grew up here. I mean, like, if you heard a story on the news of little kids that don't have an opportunity to have a lunch during the summer, like, that wouldn't bother you.
Right. So you're doing it. So you.
It's about me. It's about the kids.
All right. That's what I'm saying. So you do it for the other people then.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. So, it's like, it doesn't matter. So it's like, okay, so we don't have anybody to drive this, for tomorrow or whatever. Okay, no problem. I'll take both routes, and we'll just move the times around, notify the families, and I'll just do it all. It ain't a big deal. Like, I don't want a little mouth to go hungry.
Right.
It's whatever we got to do. Whatever I have to do. Like, Justin got to work 18 hours. I don't care. Like, we'll do that.
Well, what if what you had to do was change the way you respond to people? What if that was one of the things you had to do? Are you willing to do that?
Might have to tell somebody shut the fuck up.
No, you had to change that. That's what I'm saying. If that was, you said whatever it takes to help the other kids. No, I'm asking the question. You said whatever it takes to help the other kids. What if you changing your character so that you give a better example for another kid, for a little child or a kid?
I'm not in that environment.
What if the question is, what if that is what you had to do?
What if frogs had wings?
It's just what if.
The butts when they fly. I know how I am as a person. You're never going to see me volunteer for big brothers and big sisters.
But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. People are going to see you. You're not on an island by yourself.
Correct.
People are going to see you. They're going to notice you. They're going to be like, hey, that's Justin. Yeah.
And when people come out and they were to see me giving food to kids, they would see the biggest smile on my face when I see kids get food, that there's too much food for them to carry. Because the thing that I always say that I would love to just actually deliver door to door rather than have the kids come to us. Because man, I tell you what, man, we go to some of these neighborhoods and like we're so far away. Like you see these little kids come and like on a Friday. So like for this is a holiday weekend. So we give them food for Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Like you see these little 5 and 6 year old kids, man. They're trying to carry food for 4 days, and it's just like they're struggling. It's just like, man, why can't we just get their address and just go to their house?
This is why we have this.
I'm gonna say I don't care what Justin say. Justin comes on here, he tried to say, "Oh, I'm not that good of a person." Justin is a good guy.
For real, though.
Justin, you're a good
awesome guy. He is an awesome guy.
And he's smiling. And he's smiling. I can see it. See, look, there it is.
Dude.
Let me tell you something, man. Let me tell you something. Like when I grew up, like we weren't poor, but we weren't rich, and I had tons of friends that were the same way, and there was nothing like that. There was no community involvement for anything like that. Now, my level of care outside of Bradenton might not be as high, as here, but like I'm born here, raised here. I don't care where you're from. I don't want a little kid to go hungry. Like just that's not fair to that little child. That little child did not make any decisions in their life to be where they're at, to where they're hungry. Period, point blank. And if I can donate some of my time, which I can freely tell you that I sit on my ass more than most people that I know, and that I will gladly do what I have to do to make sure that they have a meal for the days that they don't have an opportunity to get something. But like American Cancer Society, like we go to that every year. I love going to the breast cancer walk every year because it's one of those events that it's when you go to it and you think about it, it's every little bit of the struggle of what breast cancer is for women, right? So you have survivors, you have women that are still going through their battle, you have people that are just finding out that they tested positive, and then you have people that are there to support, right? And I'm there to support. So the entire time that I'm there, like I will never not smile and be happy and not be supportive for everybody that's there, because like that's the whole point of that, is to be supportive.
See, look, listen, Justin has just displayed traits of toxic masculinity, and he has displayed amazing traits of a mature masculine man by showing that he cares about the community.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome.
All in one, God dog it.
And then the thing that kind of pulls on me a little bit, right, is I'm a staunch supporter of veterans, right? I'm absolutely a supporter of veterans. The thing that bugs me is that the country is so split in half right now with racism and everybody's views on things, that when I meet a lot of these older veterans, like their views on people are very one-way and very racist, and it's not easy for me to listen to where like I don't want to say something negative. And it's just one of those times where it's just like I need to shut the fuck up, do what I need to do, be supportive in that way, and just move along, because that's the right thing to do. Like I'm not here to change you. I'm just here to support and make sure that you're okay, and that you know that there are people that care for you, because you answered a call, and I love that, So, but then there's also the Dream Foundation that we do. So that's kids with special needs. So that's
Tropicana does that.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Right before the pandemic, there's the Dream Foundation private thing, and it's a great charity, and they have a baseball game that's full. It's just nothing but special needs kids, and it's a great part. It's great something to be a part of. It just absolutely is.
So like, does Tropicana take like sponsors or things like that?
We do whatever
for stuff like that.
So yeah, so like we donate certain things. Like most of it's our time. So like for the baseball game, like they need adults. So like there's some of us that coach, there's some of us that just volunteer to make sure people can park and do other things. And then so like it's a charity, right? So they basically they make money off of donations. So we play golf tournaments, we do different things, we sponsor stuff, and we're part of that in the community. And like every big business in Bradenton is involved in it in some way, shape, or form. So
Okay.
but for me, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You go out there and you see the kids running around, or whether they be in a wheelchair or on crutches. They're so flippin' happy. They have the biggest smiles on their faces, and it's just like, I don't care how cold of a person you are, man. Like it's got to get in there somewhere and warm the cackles of your heart a little bit. Like it's just a good thing to see.
So back to the masculinity.
Yeah, I'm toxic.
So I think everybody has masculinity traits, like and it's just my personal perception, my personal opinion that everybody has it, and it's good because you at some point you might be called to protect somebody or to be a leader, like we mentioned before. So you want to, and there's a trait of confidence that you have to have when you have to approach these things. Like if you have to defend somebody or even yourself. So, and I believe all that equates to being masculine because, it can relate to the man portion of it. The toxic portion comes when it becomes controlling. When you using your masculinity to be controlling or abusive to other people. You know what I'm saying? Or even teaching kids certain things. Like sometimes it can come across and people don't even understand it. Like if you have a little kid that wants to, maybe it's a boy and he wants to be an actor or he wants to be a dancer, as opposed to playing sports or playing football or playing something like that. That's when it becomes masculine, when you controlling that environment, saying this is what you have to do. This is what you should be doing, right? As a man, this is what you should be doing. Now there is a thin line where you can cross, and there you have to correct and be like, this is what you should not be doing because you are a male. You know what I'm saying? But and getting back to when it's being toxic, I think a lot of times it's confused with the word insecurity. I think a lot of people get toxic masculinity confused with insecurity, where because they feel like somebody's being toxic because they respond to something or they have to say something about this or say something about that. I think those particular incidents has to do with more of an individual being insecure, not toxically masculine. You know what I'm saying? Like if you see somebody, a guy dressed up as a girl, and you feel like you have to say something about it or you speaking about it. I don't think that's necessarily has to do with being toxic, masculinity. I think that's more insecurity. Like you have to prove yourself. Like even some of the instances listening to Justin, and and that's my boy, but sometimes we have to prove ourselves. You know what I'm saying? We have to either, show that we're not tolerating this today, or we have to show that, we're the front of the line. You don't want to mess with me, or I'm not, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of times when you feel that you have that presence, that's when it sneaks up and becomes toxic or insecure, when you have to do that. So I would think of it, me personally, I think of it like this. Something that's toxic is damaging, right? It's damaging to the original component. So look at yourself. What's your original component? Are you ordinarily positive, or do you have something that you're working towards ordinarily? That's your regular component. When your behavior, no matter what it is, becomes toxic to that, then I believe is when it becomes an issue. Like if you are a naturally positive person and you start to do things and the environment change to negativity. Like me, I want to be positive all the time. So if I'm in the store and somebody approaches me in a negative way, if I respond negatively, then that's changing my personal environment that I want for myself. And so
Nah,
therefore,
I'm looking at these faces. Somebody got something to say. Look like Nick got something he want to say.
this is just my perspective,
You know?
my perception, you know.
Jody, Nate, y'all, I see y'all faces. Y'all faces look like, what is Coach A talking about?
Nah, he got me
No, but I
with
agree with
that
Coach A. I
being
agree with
positive all the time. Nah, I ain't trying to be positive all the time. Like, not 100%. That might sound crazy, but like,
Yes,
nah.
you are. That's why you're smiling now, because you want to be positive.
Nate gotta participate in Toxic Tuesdays with Dr. Skywalker.
Is this your audition or something?
I'm gonna see you there, Jody. I'm gonna see you there, Jody.
Appreciate it.
But everybody's majority of the people's natural state is to be positive. Majority. There are some people whose their default is negative, and so they've already switched. But for the majority, the average person, their default is positive, and so when you start and do have behavior traits that constantly putting you on the negative side or in the negative environment, then there's got to be something toxic inside you. I always tell this to people. Real quick, let me get this last thing. I always tell this to people because I love talking. When you look in the mirror,
we know that.
Yes, exactly. When you look in the mirror, right, and you use a mirror to see what is wrong with your reflection, right? And I'm just using the word toxic. What's toxic on you that you can see? If you got a hair out of place, if you got something going on your shirt or something, you always look in the mirror to check yourself. So your environment is the reflection of your character. So if you're getting in arguments all the time, you're always fighting with somebody or always confused or something's going on, then there's something inside your character that needs to be corrected so that you can get the right reflection from the environment. I'll just leave it.
So, fellas, real quick, before we switch subjects, because I want to touch on this topic before we leave. Anybody else got any final thoughts?
No,
I just get it off your chest now.
I just want to say when Coach A is talking to Justin and he was getting loud, and then
that was so
why Coach A so loud? Nick said masculinity.
That's the truth. I'm telling you, man. It's in everybody, man. I started getting on the microphone like.
All right, anybody else? Jody, I know you got something. Go ahead, bro.
Any pushback?
I just want to say,
I'm listening.
Coach A said that whole looking in the mirror thing, and I'm just thinking he got 4 daughters, so I know he got a lot of mirrors in his house.
You see yourself all the time.
All the time.
He looking at his stuff all the time. He probably got one in the kitchen somewhere to make sure he got one all the time. But in all honesty, I think he's right to a certain extent. We all want to be a little bit positive, but in certain situations, it's just like when you come at somebody wrong, you know what I'm saying? Like you get what you know what I'm saying, you get out what you put in, and you come at somebody wrong, you probably gonna get that same energy back. You know what I'm saying? So I can't necessarily say look at Justin's situation at Publix or somebody coming to me saying you might be one of them such and such Democrats because you got on the max. Like you probably would have got the same response out of me. And that ain't me trying to be positive. I'm just returning the same energy that you gave me.
That's what Nate was trying to say.
Yeah, but do you have to though?
That's it.
You don't have to.
You don't have to.
Portion.
It's a choice.
Right,
it's definitely a choice.
Right.
Yeah.
But I am definitely not be the bigger man right now.
Hey, like
that's because you already building it up right now. Go ahead, Joe.
It's Coach A is right. You can be the bigger person, right? But it's like for me, sometimes I can't, because I felt like there's a lot of points in my life where I was a bigger person and I regretted it. You know what I'm saying? So like at this point, if you go low, I'm going to hell.
No, stop, Drip. No, do not feed it. Stop.
Don't do it, because it's just like there's certain points in your life where it's like being a bigger person. There's for instance, being a bigger person at work to stay gainfully employed. Fine, we'll do that. But let me tell you, what we ain't gonna do is be the bigger person at Publix at 3:35 in the afternoon when I'm just trying to say though. Hell no, I ain't finna be positive about it, because you can't be trying. And I think I think that's where a lot of people
The
laugh,
reason-
but it's like that's where my toxic Tuesdays come from, because it's like, and let's be real, you know what I'm saying? Some people don't deserve your best. Some people just don't deserve your best, and it's just like
You deserve your
to be the
best.
bigger person.
You deserve your best. You not what you guys don't
I do.
realize is that you're not doing anything to the other person. Not
Brandon, he
zero.
yelling again.
Just because you I am, and I ain't
agree
even at
with
the
Coach A
microphone.
on that. I agree
Because
with Coach A on that one.
this is
You're
why I
harming
have the
yourself.
word Coach A. This is why I had the word Coach A is for subjects just like this. You're not doing anything to that other person. The only thing you're doing is you're developing a bad habit, and eventually that job you're trying to keep, that same attitude is going to come out.
Hey,
in
me
there
and Jimmy
because you're
talked
not
about that last
controlling it on
night.
the other end. You're not controlling. I tell my wife this all the time. When you driving, right, and you're displaying road rage, you know, like somebody do something and you say a little something to yourself or do a little something like that, you're practicing. You're teaching yourself that this is okay. And so when something big comes up, you ain't even able to take care of the little things, overlook the little things. How you gonna overlook something big? You see what I'm saying? You don't
Coach,
realize how the mind works.
At that moment, it is okay.
Hey, no, but see, this is what
Look,
Coach A is
this is where it
talking about,
starts.
because we're
Listen,
talking
this is
about
where it
at the
starts.
moment. That's toxic. You're worried about
This
the
is
moment
where it
instead
starts.
of the
Yes.
long run.
And
See,
listen,
that's where the toxicity comes in at.
all y'all shaking your head yes is where it starts. By you shaking your head yes, you're reaffirming yourself, and then what's going to happen is you're telling yourself right now that tomorrow or the next day it's okay for you to act like that, and it's never going to improve. And so
Hey,
eventually
no,
you're going to
Coach,
the problem is this. The problem is that you can only reach a certain level in life with certain attitudes, because the success comes to people it's on certain levels. And if your behavior, your attitude, your mood, if all those things don't match the right level that you want to reach, then you're only going to reach that level. So you can have whatever attitude you want because you're grown, you can do whatever response you want, but the universe does not reward people that do not reach the certain level of control, self-control, understanding, all those things. So it's not me to correct. It's not me to correct. So if there's something you're trying to reach and you can't figure out why you ain't got there yet or why it ain't happened for you yet, that's part of the reason why.
But I want to say too, I think that's the great thing about a community. You know what I'm saying? We can't correct what our brothers and sisters do, but you know we need to point those things out to them. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, that was a bad. Oh yeah, go ahead.
Drip was making us laugh with his hand.
Come on, Drip.
Let me tell you something, man.
Oh, wait a minute. I ain't never heard that.
Let me start off by saying, earlier, Coach A, you said we confuse it with insecurity. I agree with that. It is insecurity. Because I do not believe in the phrase toxic masculinity.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever heard the phrase toxic femininity?
Nope.
Exactly.
You never will.
Because a woman.
Exactly.
That's why.
Every toxic masculinity is a knock on masculinity. Period.
You'll never hear of toxic LBGTQism.
Exactly.
Because they'll never let you say it.
Because being a man in this day and age is under attack. You know, if you get somebody in the comments saying they feel like if you get a little aggressive, then they label it, oh, you toxic masculinity. If you any sort of assertiveness from a guy, oh, he toxic. He toxic. Toxic means poisonous.
Yes.
It is not poison to assert yourself. Now, if you go overboard, like you can go overboard, then that's a problem. But if you correcting somebody, you know, like what Justin did, somebody stepped in his face, talking crazy to him, and he was just in there trying to get some groceries. He snapped back. People say that's wrong. No, it's not wrong. Because I'm going to tell you why. And it's like,
tell him, Trip.
And it's like what Dr. Skywalker said. You can spend a lot of time being the bigger person, and then you feel like later on that day, you should have said something. Your day is out of balance. And it's about balance within yourself. That can't be toxic.
Hey, they need to listen to that Bizzle song, Coach A.
Okay, yeah, that I've never in my life went back and been like, man, I should have said this, I should have said that. That's not. There's very few people that you really in the stores, man. I should have told this person that, or they didn't. That's you not carrying the stuff with you. All that stuff should have been left at the store. If you
and
still
how you leave it at the store? You leave it at the store by correcting that person. That's how you leave it at the store.
Yeah, but you corrected them.
You corrected them.
But you just said that you corrected them, and you can go home and thinking about, oh, I should have said this, or I should have did. I'm not saying correcting somebody is wrong. I'm not even saying Justin is wrong. That's not what I'm here to. I'm not here to judge nobody's actions. So I wouldn't say that that's wrong. But what I can tell you is that it's not doing anything for yourself, and it's not doing anything for the other person. I mean, it's damaging more to yourself than it is the other person. That's what I'm coaching on. That's
what I'm saying is, I understand what you're saying.
There's no
but
wrong.
It's damaging to yourself not to, like I said, if you go home and you sitting there like, man, I could have just said this. I ain't say go off on a person, but you could have said something and be like, whatever, in a civilized manner. That cleansed yourself. Now you have balance. But if you going home and you felt like that person got the better of you. And I don't know if that's just a competitor in me. We play sports, and if somebody, especially you, Coach A, you play basketball. If somebody gets you on the court, you like, man, I'm gonna go. I got to get them back.
Yeah.
You got to get them back. That's the competitive nature. I think that's what it is in me. I can't let nobody have the upper hand on me.
That sounds more like pride than competitive.
That's what's ironic. That's what's ironic. They just got the upper hand on you because they was able to control your emotions. They was able to get the negative response out of you. That's what the control portion is. That's the same thing that you're trying to work against. You really don't realize that you lost.
I ain't saying they didn't control my emotions. I mean, you can say something to me, and most of the time I'll be like, huh, whatever. I'm gonna piss you off before you piss me off.
By not doing nothing, right, man?
Yeah, but if you say something to me that and I hear you. See, it's the thing. Sometimes I don't listen to people. You can just be talking to me, and I hear Charlie Brown doing wah 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 wah. I'm like, yeah.
What did you say?
Right, But if I hear you, and it's like, wait a minute, hold on. Why you say that to me? Don't say that to me. I'll tell you and I'll tell you just as calm as I'm talking. And I'm fine. Once we leave the situation, I'm fine. But if it's something and I'm sitting there and I walk away and I'm like, man, you know what? I should have said this to that mother. And it's
right.
I'm off balance, man, because I didn't, say what I had to say, man. And I teach my kids that I say, speak your mind. I tell them, speak your mind.
Put me in between them two because they getting too strong together. So slide me.
I want to say this to Coach A. So you play ball, right? And so that's a nice little fact. So we all watched the other day.
Oh, he's switching.
I got you, Coach. I got you.
CP3. Pat Bell put CP3. So all I'm saying is, as a man, you would have had to see me after the locker room, homeboy. I went right outside the locker room, like, nah, bro, you don't get 1-on-1 for that. So, and I said, that's not me being toxic. That you tried me. And I'm like Johnny Drip. I'm gonna start calling preacher Drip.
But wait.
My people. I gotta put my
but Jody,
hold on.
But Jody, hold on. But back to your Patrick Beverly thing. You want to know why he act like that? I saw a post that he posted on Instagram, and he said that he did that out of emotion. He did that because CP3 was killing his tail, which we already know. But that goes back to what we were already saying.
Let me kill this.
No, to be masculine, you got to control your emotions.
But Jimmy, what did I tell you that night?
Go ahead and finish, so I can go ahead and kill this point.
Hold on. So Jimmy, when we was texting about it that night, or was voice texting, I also told you something has to be internally wrong with him, and I think that's where Coach A finna go. Something has to be internally wrong for him to let his emotion get that high in that basketball situation. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So when
it's like with Justin, he ain't never been checked for it. Because I tell you this,
but that's not where I'm finna go. Watch this.
He ain't never been checked for it.
Watch this. So what's the goal?
Would he push Draymond Green like that? Would you push Draymond
Probably not.
Green like
Or
that?
maybe, we don't know. But listen, Joe.
Oh, okay.
Listen, Skywalker, what's the goal for the Suns?
To win the game.
To win the championship. That's the goal, right? So when your behavior becomes toxic to winning the championship, Chris Paul turning around, getting into a fight, right? Proving his point because he's a man, you ain't going to push me. He gets kicked out of the next 3 to 5 games and they lose the championship. That is the whole point. That's why he was able to control himself.
But
you don't just
poison to his team.
Exactly.
Control himself.
We talked about like controlling yourself, but this is my place of employment, so I'm going to control myself because I have a bigger purpose, right?
You would have did the same thing. You wouldn't have waited. You wouldn't have been outside the locker room because they would have. If you waiting outside the locker room, they're gonna do the same thing. They're gonna kick you off the team.
No, I think outside the locker room, he probably would have just got fined some money.
Yeah.
No.
They wouldn't have suspended that man.
I think
another player.
Suspended that man.
Yes, they would have. If they don't suspend nobody, it'd be fights all the time.
That's because they're doing it on the court.
No, they would have suspended.
No,
we don't know that.
We do know they're gonna get.
Somebody's gonna put it on Instagram.
So since we know who has been
when they interview Patrick Beverly, he looked like
no. Since we know who has gotten into a fight after the game that got suspended. I'm just saying, y'all say
we don't know anybody of this era.
Huh?
But what we do know is this. We do know that the NBA, because of them losing sponsorships, they started suspending people for any kind of altercations. Correct? Yeah. And they're gonna follow suit with that.
On and off the court, I'm telling you.
They're gonna follow suit with that, bro.
Look, like I said, no answer was given to me.
No answer about what?
Who that we know got into a fight after the game?
Hey, hold on. We'll be
they
right
got
back.
Suspended.
We'll be right back.
They can still hear me.
That's fine. I just want to make sure that they like, share, comment.
My man Jimmy is on it today. Hey, anybody that's watching, y'all heard what Jimmy said. Y'all like, share, comment.
This man said, hold up.
All right. So listen. Thank y'all for that. But listen, let's switch over real quick. Forgive me to the young lady, I don't know her name, who turned her bat at the Olympic trials, who turned her bat and did the Black Power little thing. Gwen, we're gonna talk about her. We're gonna talk about what's the track lady, your name, who got suspended. Sha'Carri. Listen, what do y'all think about these situations?
She shouldn't have smoked that weed.
Michael Phelps was smoking weed too, though.
He never got caught.
He got suspended.
For 30
He
days.
got suspended after the Olympics. He got caught after the Olympics.
Yeah,
he got caught after the Olympics.
Now listen, I was telling Jimmy last night. Oh,
after the Olympics, and they had a picture of him smoking weed. They never drug tested this man, and he still got suspended for 30 days. So all these people
and he lost all his sponsors.
Around, keep that same energy.
No, he only lost one.
Hey, you want her suspended for 30 days? You want her suspended for 30 days? You want her lose sponsors? Because Michael Phelps did not get in trouble for that. They tried to rope this man. They tried to take his medals and everything. So don't tell me to keep the same energy when it comes to Sha'Carri Richardson, because Michael Phelps got roped for that little weed incident. So let's not try to turn this into a black and white thing. I
told Jimmy last night I don't feel bad for him.
He got roped for that.
I told him the same thing.
I'm not mad at her for smoking weed. I'm mad at her timing for doing it. You knew as a black person, a black woman, as a young black woman, that them people were looking for any reason to try to strip you of anything you just did. You just broke a record. A 21-year-old black woman breaking records, that's gonna bother a lot of people in this world. So you know you got to be squeaky clean, and you smoke weed, like.
But check this out: the season folk they has a saying, and it says, "Don't give them a reason."
You're right. Don't give nobody a reason.
Shawty gave him a reason. You know,
like I was telling Jimmy last night, I don't feel bad for her. She knew what the rule was. You went and did it. You got to suffer the consequences. Now, everybody was all hyped to see her run and this, and that, and another. What you still gonna see her run? She's just gonna be suspended for 30 days. But I don't feel bad for her, man. That's what any league, any basketball, football, you get caught doing something, you're gonna be punished.
Well, listen, I feel bad for the young lady, but what's right is right, what's wrong is wrong.
I don't feel bad for her.
You got to feel, there's consequences to your actions.
She also seems like she okay with it. So I mean, if she okay with it, why ain't everybody else got something to say about it?
For real, she taking it like a woman.
That's what I'm saying. She said, she made a mistake. It is what it is. So it sounds like she okay with it.
Don't say you made a mistake. You ain't make a mistake by putting that joint up to your lips.
Yeah.
Just say I made a bad decision.
That's like a man cheating and saying, "Oh, it was a mistake." No, that wasn't a mistake.
You meant to do it.
Now, but and to the other young lady, Gwen, my whole stance on her was like, why even compete? You know what I'm saying?
Well, what she did?
Hold on, I'm gonna take this.
Hold on.
Let's go. You go drill.
Let me drop this on.
Let's go.
Because I've been on Facebook arguing with these racists about that.
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you something.
Drip, before you go into it, give Nick a little bit of backstory. I don't think he know what was going on.
Okay, well, Gwen, I think her last name is Davis. She won, she medaled, and she was standing at the podium, and they played the national anthem, and she stepped down and turned her back on it. Now, she had conversations with these people prior to that, where she asked them, are you going to play the national anthem while we're on the podium? Because if you are, I'm not going to, honor that national anthem. I'm not going to do that. She had told them that. They assured her that they was going to play it before they even passed out the medals and stepped on the podium. So in essence, they lied to her. So when she got up there and they played it, she was like, oh man, they played me, and that's when she stepped down and turned her back on me. So she already expressed her feelings towards that.
But what was she trying to prove with that, though?
Well, what was Colin Kaepernick trying to prove when he took a knee?
Nothing.
It's the same thing.
Yeah, no, it's
the same thing.
If she really wants to make an impact, don't even compete. Don't even give your services to the Olympics and in essence to the country.
Before all that happened, I thought I read that anybody that was going to be kneeling, like Tokyo wasn't going to have none of that bull with people kneeling and all that stuff with the national anthem. So she already knew. So yeah, right, when they shouldn't. And she already knew going into it, like Jimmy said, if she knew this going into it, what's the point of you even competing? Just don't compete.
That's what I'm saying.
This is how she makes her money.
You're competing for yourself.
How about you go and compete for? How about I'm pretty sure she's pro-black or Pan-African or whatever. Go compete for Africa then. So you don't have to do it. Take your time to them.
Why you in?
But at the same time, if she
go ahead, Nick.
No, I'm about to say
Like,
at the same time, if she sat there
that's
and
the case.
said, "All right, if this is what you're gonna do, you know, I don't want to be a part of it," and they was like, "Oh no, we're gonna do it after the fact," and then they did it anyway. She supposed to just stand there and not do what she believe in her heart and just be like, "All right, well, they said they was gonna do this. I'm just staying here."
Bro, you're here saying that you're competing for the United States on the United States behalf, and then you
Okay.
turn around and
that
do
don't
what
make
you
sense.
did. Like that's bro.
Okay,
I
so
got a
Jimmy,
headache
Why not?
thinking about it.
Time out.
If you
My
that,
head
yeah,
thinking about
you
it.
are
Hold on.
that disappointed, if you that disappointed in the United States, or you have that much disgrace or whatever it is, then why compete on their behalf? Why wear the uniform? Why
No,
why
Hold
why
on.
I
Let me
get,
straighten y'all
accept
out right
why
quick.
accept the money?
Hold on. Now, because you're sounding like,
You
man,
sound
you
like
wearing
you're
a
racist, huh?
Confederate flag, man. Hold
I
on.
knew that was coming. I've
Hold
heard this.
on
I've heard
now.
this several times before.
It's
Because
like
anytime
this.
somebody have an opposite opinion,
No,
now we
coach.
racist or
No,
Confederate, right?
coach. I'm
You
not
just
saying
said
that,
it.
coach.
You
I
just said
said,
we
hold
sound like
on.
we were the
I said you're
Confederate flag.
sounding. I didn't say
Coach
you
A
sound
yelling
like.
again.
Hold on now. Let
Why we
me.
can't sound like black men with our own
My
opinion?
my daddy
I
and my
understand.
cousin
He's not
chiming in.
yelling. What I'm saying is
Go
this.
ahead and cook. Go ahead and cook.
Nobody's saying all of us up here, you, me, everybody on this panel, we are proud to be Americans. That is not the point. We are not proud of the way America treats us because we are Americans. Us up here, all these young black men, all of us, we are proud of being born in this country. We love this country. They don't treat us like they treat other ethnic groups of this country. You know, we can represent this country, but we don't have to agree with everything this country does. You can't say, that's almost like saying, love it or leave it. You can't say that.
I get that, but
I'm gonna tell you this real quick.
What's happening is you're going into the environment that's been the same for years, has nothing to do with that other stuff, and you're changing. Don't play the American anthem now, or I'm not.
No
Instead
one
of standing
said
up here
that.
like we're supposed to do, you just said that she didn't want them to play it, right?
No,
So now
I didn't
instead
say
of
she
standing
didn't.
up,
Listen to me. I didn't say she didn't want them to play it. She
she
said she asked were they gonna play it if she was on the podium.
Okay.
And she expressed to them that if you were going to do that, then she wouldn't stand on the podium. She let them know already.
But she's changing the rules and stuff. She's changing everything based
She
on
didn't
one
change
individual.
anything.
Well,
Do they normally
let
stand on?
me say this.
She's talking about for herself. That was her form of protest.
But hold on, but why can't we take upon the approach of in basketball we have Luka who plays here, we have Dirk who played here, but they went back and played to represent their countries, huh?
Right.
Their country, they have open invitation. If I was Argentina, hell yeah, I want Manu Ginobili to play for me. So when it comes time to the Olympics, I'm not gonna give him no pushback to come play for me. The same thing with a lot of these players. If that's the case, then hell, Africa would be the best basketball team, and we win every damn time. But you think they probably gonna invite us to go over there and play? Probably not. So we play.
Probably not, because they don't think highly of Americans.
The money for it. We play.
They feel like we with the malarkey.
So yeah, so at that case, I'm agreeing with Johnny Drip and her. As a black person, I'm gonna give you my black natural ass to kiss every single time you white folks can take it. You're gonna do it the hell I tell you. I don't want to stand up there and listen to your racist.
Oh,
you can
again,
black slave
ass.
And you right.
Again,
you right.
again.
And when
You're hurting yourself.
Yes.
You're hurting yourself.
Hurting yourself.
How? How are you hurting yourself?
Bro, you're hurting yourself and you're hurting the country. You're not just hurting the country.
You're not hurting the country. You're not hurting the country. You're just only hurting yourself.
How? Explain to me. How did she hurt herself?
That's just like the baby mama. It's hard. Keep the kids from the daddy.
It's really hard for me to explain if you. It's hard for me to explain if you don't understand that our character we bring to ourselves based on, our character, how we act. These are principles that's in the world. I'm talking a lot deeper than just, what we see. It's a lot deeper. It's called the laws of attraction and stuff like that. It's just how it is. So until you really understand that, then I can just be talking.
Oh, I
so what I'm
comprehend,
saying,
Coach, very
right?
well.
So no. Well, I'm saying you still have to believe it too. But I'm not saying you don't. I'm just explaining.
I know what you're saying, but what I'm saying is, didn't that enhance her character?
No,
that showed her character.
No,
it did not enhance that she stood on her beliefs.
Listen to what I'm saying. Anytime you do something negative, you're going to bring negativity back to you.
What was negative about it?
That was not the environment. Everybody was standing up. She decided to be different based on her belief, which I understand. But that wasn't the perfect timing.
Rosa Parks did the
There's
same
no
thing.
perfect time for black people to be different in this white ass country. Rosa Parks didn't choose a perfect time to be different, but she did it. Martin Luther King didn't choose a perfect time.
Right.
Oh my God. I'm gonna be different.
No, ain't no oh my God.
Martin Luther King promoted positive responses. He didn't promote
Malcolm X promoted positive responses.
I mean, what she did wasn't really negative.
She didn't hurt anybody.
How is that going to spark a change?
She did it to spite.
No, I get what you're saying, but it wasn't negative.
She did it to spite. When you do something to spite,
Rosa Parks
if you turn your back, we're not talking about them. I'm talking about this girl on the podium. So each of those incidents is different. Rosa Parks did something because she did what she felt was right because they were telling her.
She did that because she was tired. Let's not forget that. She was tired and she sat in the front of the bus.
Right.
She didn't do it to change anything. She didn't do it to change anything. They said she was tired.
Right. So
the lady didn't want. The lady just didn't want the music to be. Well, she didn't have a problem with the music being played. She just didn't want to be there while it was being played.
But
her response was to spite it.
Because
that's what it was.
She planned.
Okay, Jimmy, I got a question. Jimmy, I got a question. So you're doing the catering, and there's certain things you don't want done, or you don't want this event, and they say, okay, cool, we're not gonna do it. You get there, it gets done exactly what you said you didn't want to do. What are you gonna do? You'll be like, nah, I'm gonna let this slide. I'm gonna just go ahead and do this catering. Or you gonna stand on your belief? Hold on. Or you gonna stand on your belief and leave?
I'm not understanding what you're trying to ask.
Hold on, Jimmy. Hold on, give me 1 second.
Perfect sense.
If you y'all have a table, y'all have a table. Listen, y'all got a table, and y'all everybody come to the table. And hold on, listen. You say all your kids, and this is to you guys. You tell your kids to come to the table and eat. It's dinner time, right? But you got gospel music playing, and your son say, "You know what? I'm not sitting at the table because you got gospel music playing." That's what it's like. Like, this is what we normally do, son. Like, I understand you're upset at something.
There you go.
That somebody did something to you. I didn't do that to you. Somebody specifically might have did something to you, but you're going to sit at my table and eat. You're not going to disrespect the house, right?
Hold on.
And that's the same thing.
What if your son expressed before dinner? He say, Dad, how about tonight we don't play gospel music? How about tonight we play something like this? Nothing like crazy, but something like this. And you look your son in the eye and say, okay, son, we'll do that. And your son comes in and you still play the gospel music. And he said, but I thought you said you weren't going to do that. Well, I don't want to eat here.
This is how it's always been.
You have an opportunity to explain to him what happened. Like, yo, son, I tried to keep it, or this is what happened, or I wasn't in control of it. There has to be something that happened.
You see my hand.
Hey, Coach, everybody else want to talk, Coach.
Nobody's talking.
So
Coach, what do you do when he say he not finna listen to this song?
I tell
Oh,
him to
this
sit
music.
down and eat, son.
Huh?
We'll talk about it later. We'll talk about it later.
But
That
then
masculinity.
the masculinity come out into him, and he say, I'm not sitting at this table.
It's masculine.
That's
The
your child. What you
masculinity,
mean he not sitting at the
toxic
table?
masculinity
You gonna
comes
do what I
out
say.
when he say, "I'm not sitting at the table."
So
That's
what do
the
you do?
toxic
So it's
masculinity.
got to be toxic because he's standing up for what he believes in. So he proving
He's not
Right.
fighting. Right. Yeah, it is.
Or
It's
it-
toxic for him. The way he's doing it.
I agree with it.
But coach, what do you
Did he
do?
curse you out?
I pull his chair out, say, "Have a seat, son."
And that's all you gonna keep saying.
We'll talk about it later. I'm not.
And he
finna
say,
wait
no, I
until
want to talk
somebody-
about it now.
Oh man, you already
Nick,
know.
would you
what
let
time
your child talk to you like that? Like what you're saying
Nah,
is
it is.
crazy.
No, what I'm saying is,
But his,
what I'm saying is, if it was at my house and you say you don't want to sit down because you don't want to listen to this music, you can go to your room.
Yeah.
No, you don't give him that option.
That's
You
still
sit
your
right here
time
and
of
eat this
punishment.
food.
No,
That's
you're
you
not
think
gonna
you
eat this
punishing
food.
him.
You eat this food and then you can go to your room. What you mean?
No, you're not
But
eating.
let me
no
ask
food
you a
and you
question,
go to
though.
bed hungry.
You still proving my point. You're punishing him.
Hold on.
Let
Let me ask you a
What
question.
he
then.
did was wrong. Right. Go ahead, Drew.
Let me
But
ask y'all a question. Okay, I get what you're saying. You saying Gwen, she understands, she competed, she had an obligation, right? So she supposed to stand up, butt up on that podium, even if the song played. Cool. What's the difference between her and Naomi Osaka? Osaka don't want to give interviews to the media, and she pulled out. Like, forget that. I'm not doing that.
And
But
she
nobody
pulled out. There's nothing
and
wrong with
nobody
that.
ostracized
There's
her.
nothing wrong with that.
Nobody
pulled out.
ostracized her though. They
She
said, "Oh,
pulled
that's
out.
good for
She
her."
said, "I'm not gonna compete because I don't want to follow
No.
by your rules."
She said, "I'm not," but that's her obligation. That she knew what the obligation was when she decided to compete.
Bro,
you got to
she
be
pulled
available
out,
for
bro.
the media.
Yeah, she
You got
accepted
to
it, and
be,
then she pulled out.
and then she pulled out. "Nah, I'm not doing it." She said,
Hey,
"I'm not
Good
doing
for
it."
her. Good for
Hey,
her.
another thing.
Good for
for
her. She
Good for
said, she asked, "Was the national anthem going to
And
be
guess what?
played?"
And guess
And
what?
she said, "If it
The
is,
young lady that
I
turned
don't
it back,
want to
guess
do
what
it."
she did? Guess what she did?
She said, "I
accepted those
don't
terms
want to do it."
represent
We got a
the United
hand.
States.
We got a hand.
We got a hand.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
At the
Yeah,
end
yeah.
of the day, like I mean, I kind of disagree with Coach A said earlier. He said that this doesn't
All
affect
day.
it doesn't affect us, but obviously it do if we talking about it for one. Two, if
affects us in a
she
negative way.
thought if
Jimmy,
she
let him
thought
talk. Jimmy's out here interrupting people.
if she thought she had to take a stand for this, why are anybody on this panel talking about she shouldn't have did it? If she's the only one that thought she should have done it, all of us gonna have things that we do, and we don't care. Especially me, I don't care what nobody else thinks. If I'm gonna do it, that's the decision I made to do it, and whatever backlash that's gonna come, it's just gonna have to come at the end of whatever I did. So how are we gonna sit here and say that she should have or she shouldn't have done anything?
Okay, first of
But
all,
you have
it's a
Coach, why
conversation.
you always got to go first?
I'm jumping. Go ahead, Jimmy. Go ahead.
hey, Coach.
Never
Coach
mind,
that
I'm going.
kid-
No, I'm just kidding.
Coach that
Listen.
kid at school that just skipped everybody because he cool.
once again, we have to realize this:
I get it from the
accountability. That's
We
the
don't
only
have to
thing,
realize that,
accountability. No,
We don't have to
Accountability.
realize that.
that you need to have accountability. What are you talking about?
No. Go ahead.
See,
What
part
you
of
saying-
part of
what
the
you
reason I
saying
jump
is-
is that the question never really gets answered.
I can't
We start
wait.
going off on other stuff. But go ahead.
Nah, because listen, we what's her name? Now I'm sorry, I forget the tennis girl name. I forget her name.
Naomi.
Naomi. Okay, Naomi took accountability by saying, "Hey, I don't want to follow your rules, so I'm gonna opt out." Great for her. Great move. Very mature. Now, the other young lady, she opted in knowing how everything goes because this is not her system. This is someone else's system that they have put together. And she said, "You know what? I want to buck the system."
Yes,
That's
And-
not right.
right.
She had
And
to
She
she's not
had a
taking accountability.
conversation.
and
I'm
your
saying
point.
she had a conversation beforehand. And she said to them,
But
if
the
you're
thing is,
going
hold
to
on.
do it,
One question: who did
I'm
she
not
talk
going
to?
to do
Did
this.
she talk to the people who set this whole thing up, which I highly doubt?
She said she talked to the committee, and she said, I asked them, are you going to do this? When? Because if you're going to do it while I'm on the podium, I don't want to participate. She already told them that. So she opted out if they were going to do it. They told her they wasn't. They're going to play it well before she stepped on the podium. She was lied to. How many of us get upset if we're lied to?
She knew they was going to play it.
I'm just saying. Thank you. If you're lied to, if I promise you, if I say, Brandon, I'm going to be at your house 5 o'clock tomorrow, I got $5,000 for you.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna say this and then I'm gonna let somebody talk. This is my thing. For all,
I'm not letting nobody talk.
Of our community, and we sitting here saying, "Oh, things need to change in this country. Things need to change. Things need to change." Why are we gonna take our talents and support and uplift this country in the Olympics?
Why wouldn't?
How about all of us pull out and go and represent another country and put all of our talents together and represent another country?
What other country?
Listen, go represent another country that supports you.
This is our country.
Everybody is saying that America doesn't support us.
This is our country.
Go find somebody that supports you then.
This is our dude.
Clearly, you saying it's not your country because
you
they don't
build a
like
house.
you.
See, that's what I've been talking about.
Hold on.
Now we're talking about supporting other countries.
They got that voice. They got that,
that voice. If you build a house,
far away from the question.
Hey, I think Jody,
let the nation catch that L. Don't even compete. What Donna says is great. Let the United States catch that L. Because you know they'll lose without us. Pull out.
You sure is right, Jimmy. They're gonna lose without us. They're gonna lose without us. They're gonna lose without us.
To answer Jimmy's question, you 100% right. They would lose without us, right? But if you happen to notice, right, I start noticing that, places like France, Europe, Australia.
Who's that in the background?
These countries all to the Olympics. That's all I'm saying. It's like, boy, the Olympics starting to look real black when they come on that track field, when it comes to all these countries. I was like, damn, I didn't know Australia had that many black people down there. Golly. So, but to your point, as an Olympic person, you want me to come up here, right, and compete for this country. I asked you one simple thing, and you went against it. So now you finna get my black ass to kiss. That's what you finna get.
Right.
Okay. It don't matter. That's what you finna get. And I know, Coach A, that ain't the positive thing to do. But that's what you finna get.
Hold on. What you doing right here?
This is my talent. You want to chime in? You want to chime in?
I want to hear from that guy. Yes. Yeah. That's who I want to hear from.
It's my dad, but you want to chime in?
That's what your mama said.
What you say?
That's what your mama said.
That's what my mom said.
Oh my goodness. Hey, now you can go, Coach A.
So, all right. So we was all over the place. So first of all, to Nick, the reason we're talking about it is because obviously it's a discussion and we have to have a discussion. If we don't, state opinions, then it'll just be a short show. So we have to talk about it. But obviously she can do whatever it is she wants to do. You know what I'm saying? As a man, a human being, you're in control of your own actions. So you can do whatever you feel is right, and you suffer the consequences for it. Now, what I'm saying is that certain things that we do is not beneficial to us personally. They seems like it on the surface. It seems like a right thing or a good thing or a positive thing to do, but every action is not. And you're going to get you're going to bring negativity to yourself if you're not cautious of that. So that's all I'm saying, that her doing that, she's bringing the negativity to her, and she's going to have to deal with that.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
Right. Everybody's okay. Just like we okay with saying whatever we want to say here or whenever we leave. You have to, you don't have no choice to be okay with it. That's always that saying, you make your bed, you lie in it. But if you want to be a better person and you want to be successful, then you have to limit your negative reactions to things. That's the only thing I'm saying. Limited your negative responses or your negative reaction. There's time and place to do things, because ultimately you're going to bring stuff to you that you really don't want. It seems good right now, but in the long run, could be 2 years from now, 5 years from now, 10 years, whatever. Something is going to cash in if you're not cautious of that. And so I just think personally that was a bad move on her part at that particular moment. She could have had a press conference, or she could have, said some stuff in other ways. She could have, wear a shirt or something. Maybe she could wear the Black Power shirt, or however she wanted to do it in a different way. But just, being blatant disrespect to show your back at that particular incident, I just think it wasn't a good look, and in the long run it's going to have a negative effect on her, more so than the effect she wanted to have as far as punishing the United States.
But like
ahead,
it seems like it's never a right time for Black people to stand up for what we believe in, because there's always inconvenience.
Bingo.
So you want even if she would have wore a shirt, it would have been good timing at the press conference. It could have been after the Olympics. It wouldn't have been a good time. It could have been before.
You just assuming that.
It would have been a good time.
No, we seen it.
We seen it.
We not assuming. We seen it.
We seen it with Colin Kaepernick. Everybody said that he did it at the wrong time, but years later down the line, they said they understand what he was talking about.
So where is he at? Did he want to play football? Did he get to play again?
No,
he can play.
Where?
He better than some of these quarterbacks out.
But he's not in the NFL because he made that bed, so he has to lay on it.
And he probably
because
good.
The reason he's not he's not playing is because the timing. Instead of expressing his beliefs at a press conference or a different term, he decided to do it.
But what I'm saying
is
the damage was already done, Johnny. He already kneeled and did all this stuff.
He brought light to a plight. You thought, okay,
we're talking about how it benefited him. That's what we talk. That's all we talking about.
It benefited him. It did benefit him because guess what? Nike signed him. He got paid, and he won a lawsuit against them for collusion. So don't tell me he did it at the wrong time. That was the perfect time to do it. That was the perfect time to do it.
Winning a lawsuit is not benefit.
He used his platform to bring awareness.
We got questions.
Those are after effects. He wanted to play football. He was not able to do the sport he loved. All that other stuff. Yes, whatever trouble you go through, we can turn it around and make it positive. But the bottom line is he wanted to play that sport and he was not able to play again. So we're not going to look at a lawsuit.
Why wasn't he able to play it?
All right, go ahead, Ned.
Why wasn't he able to play it? Answer the question. Why wasn't he able to play it?
Because he stepped on too many toes.
No, because they colluded to keep him out. He was physically capable.
But you act like that's something new. They've done it to multiple people. That's nothing new.
They've done it to a lot of people. You see what happened when Black people step on white toes?
But guess what? You also see what happens when Black people don't own the teams, when they don't own the league. This is what happens. Yeah. If we own the team and the leagues, we won't be having this conversation.
No, we probably would. But what I'm saying is, years later down the road, you have the commissioner, you have other owners, and everybody saying, "Oh, this is what Colin meant when he took a kneel." But at the time, they say, "Oh, you shouldn't have did it at this time." Like Jody said, when is anything a right time? I'm pretty sure people said Martin Luther King shouldn't have did it at his time.
Exactly.
But he made a difference.
No, during
they
Martin
said Ali shouldn't have done what he done.
During Martin Luther King time, they was hating on Malcolm X because they were telling Malcolm X you should have been more like Martin Luther King.
And they were saying Martin Luther King should have been more like Malcolm X. They were saying it both ways.
No, the people that were running things was not saying that.
They were saying it both ways.
No.
Yes, they were.
No, they wasn't.
Just because you didn't read it, that don't mean that it didn't happen.
No, they wasn't.
Yes, they were.
Because
there were some people that said
they didn't want Malcolm to be violent. They wanted him to be quiet like Martin.
Y'all keep talking about Martin, and his whole message was nonviolence.
Yes.
Right.
But what he said is there was some people that was saying Martin Luther King should have been more like Malcolm X.
And the people that were saying that were who? Us. Nobody else.
He was nonviolent, but they had to kill him.
We can't go by what people are saying. People, you know what I'm saying? That's just, we need facts. Like, what's your specific reason of why you want him to be like this other person? Like, what is it that he done that is there a lot of Malcolm X streets? Because whatever Martin Luther King did, it benefited, and his whole strategy was
there's a Malcolm X college.
Yeah.
In Chicago.
Okay.
I'll say this. I think the point that Coach A is trying to make in certain situations, it does fit. It's like, why choose negativity over positivity when you know the outcome is going to be one way? I think in a lot of situations, what Coach A is saying, it probably does fit better in that situation. But if we really want to get real, especially as Black people, when you look at this one situation with this girl, it's like, no, I'm not gonna play by your rules. I'm not gonna do what you want me to do because I asked you for one thing and you disrespected me and not give it to me. Now, in all honesty, Coach A has some type of point to say, yeah, it probably won't benefit you in the long run, because we all know as Black people, the quickest way to get canceled is piss off white people. So Coach A saying, hey, don't piss off the white people just yet, right? Oh my gosh. But, you know what I'm saying? Choose a better
Thank you for the extra words. I appreciate the extra words.
No problem, Coach A. But basically what she did was she chose her Black side. She chose the Black supporters and the Black people that are gonna support her. And she said, this is what she said. She did this for the Black culture and did this to the white people. That's exactly what she did.
I think she chose an emotional side that she didn't fully think of.
Well, exactly. Okay. Well, see, I am not saying I don't understand Coach's point.
Go ahead, Drew.
I mean, I understand Coach's point, and I'm not saying he's wrong. Totally. In this instance, yes. Because let me ask you a question. What do people think about Michael Jordan?
He's a GOAT.
I mean, outside of basketball, because I've had this conversation
most people, I mean, you talking about as far as a person?
No, as far as his stance on political views and all that, because Mike didn't take any stance.
Michael all about money.
Yeah, he don't say nothing about it.
Mike didn't say nothing about it, and they killed him for it today. Like, he didn't take a stance. Even Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, he chose commerce over conscience. He didn't say nothing, and they kill him for it. And here we got athletes today saying something, and they're getting killed for it. It's like what Professor Skywalker here said. It's never no good time for any Black person to speak out about issues, because no matter when we do it, when it's the right time, like you said, Coach, appropriate time, there have been BLM silent protest and press conference. BLM is a terrorist group. They killed that. You can march. Dr. King was marching peacefully, like you said. He's an agitator. They killed that. The point is, America, white America, whoever America you want to call it, don't want to hear about the mistreatment of Black people. They don't want to hear it. You bring it up, they find some way to deflect from it.
Now, I will say this. I do agree. They don't want to hear. They don't want to hear from us. But at the same time, I also think and believe that we're smart enough that if we were to pick out, certain people, like, we're smart enough to sit down, all come together, and figure out, hey, what's the best way for us to handle this, and come up with an actual plan. But we don't do that. We act out of emotion. We act out of emotion, and then we think that change is supposed to come. No,
or anger.
Stuff, and anger. I think that change is supposed to come. But I'm going to tell you something. I listened to Warren Buffett, and this dude's a freaking billionaire.
Yeah, I know.
And they asked him, they was like, what is something that you would say about the American people that a lot of people don't understand? And he said that a lot of Americans and people don't get, you got to have a plan and you got to be patient.
Mm-hmm.
He said that's how he accumulated all the power, wealth, and knowledge that he has. And he says that's what he tells anybody, all his interns that's coming up. Learn to be patient and have a plan and execute that plan. We don't have a plan, we don't execute it.
And so,
but how long are we supposed to be patient though?
So listen, part of the problem is for patience is a lifetime. You have to work on it, depending on what your goal is. You can't just.
I'm talking about for us as Black people. How long are we supposed to be patient to get what they said they was gonna give to us?
First of all, you can't. Nobody's gonna give us anything. The world is here for you to take it. And I can only speak for myself. When I changed my mentality, I was able to purchase a house and I was able to move forward and when I changed my mentality. And we're continuing to pass these things along to our kids that they are being held back. They are, being done wrong, and they're in this world that they can't win. And if you continue to put that mindset in the kid, then that's just what you're going to get back. It's just like buying a red car. And now every time you drive up and down the street, you're going to see these red cars. So every time you say the man is holding me back, the world is doing this, the United States is doing this, it's going to be easy for you to see. Very
Who said that though?
Who said that? It's an excuse.
Who said that? No one said that. No one said anything about the man. Because I agree with y'all.
They say it all the time.
The man is an excuse. That's an excuse. I've always said that. Now I agree with you on that.
That's small.
We don't need to use excuses. But what I'm saying is, like you said, if we pass along to our kids that somebody's holding you back, somebody preventing you, then yes. But if we also pass along to our kids, one thing is we know reality. That's the bottom line.
But
reality, you can work hard. You, me, Brandon, all of us. We can work hard. And we still don't get anywhere.
See, that's what I'm talking about.
I said I didn't say anybody held us back. I said we can still get nowhere.
Why?
Why? Circumstances. Sometimes circumstances. Sometimes.
The only reason a person gets the only way, and I want y'all to hear this closely, the only way somebody or anybody or anything can hold you back is if you do not have a plan and you are not working towards something. That's the only way. Now, it might not be on the time you want, the time frame or the years, but I guarantee you, if you have a plan, a vision, and you have steps to get there, every step that you conquer is you're on your way. Nobody can hold you back.
And that's
if
also
you don't have a destination. If you don't have a destination, then you just holding yourself back because you don't know where to go.
You just want.
That's true.
You don't got no. Go ahead, Brandon.
I'm just kind of adding on. I'm just kind of adding on what Coach A said because I totally agree with him. Only you can hold you back. You can't have, and nobody else has control over what happens within your life. If you have plans, 100%. If you have goals, I can't sit here and say Jimmy's the reason why I haven't met this goal. No, that's an excuse. You know what I'm saying? All of us are our own person. We control our outcomes. There's no excuse on the outside world. Nobody on the outside of my house can mess up what I got going on and how I want my future to be.
Accountability.
That's what Jimmy was saying earlier. Accountability. So that's what I had to say.
That's 100%. That's 100% fact. And I think what Johnny Drip is trying to say that, and it's not that they're holding us back, but like we all know being black in this country has its own hurdles. So if being black might not hold you back, but it's definitely gonna put some hurdles in your life. Now, whether you choose to have a better mindset to jump over them hurdles is on you. Right?
It's on you.
Like, if you're being held back, you gotta jump over them hurdles. I got a personal story about having to jump over a hurdle because, and I don't really put like my personal business on Facebook, and I'm not gonna put this company on blast, but I applied for a job for $80,000 a year, right? And the lady, one of the people that I put down as a reference is a dude that I'm cool with. He a white boy. I'm cool with him. The job was in Texas, right? I was ready to move to Texas to go do this job, making $80,000 a year. And he hit me up and he was mad as hell. And I'm like, what's wrong? He was like, yo, real talk, this lady feels like you got all your certifications out of a jail program, so she didn't hire you. Now, that's a hurdle. I can't sit back and say that like, oh man, it's you know what I'm saying, it's gonna stop at the thing, because it's not. But at the same time, he was mad as hell. And at the same time, I was like, I don't know why it happens. As a black person, I say I've been doing this since I was 19. I'm 33. I've been doing it since I was 19. Right? And yet me having this much experience was because I was in a jail program. I got my HVAC certification because I was in the jail program. I got my plumbing certifications, my electric certifications because I was in the jail program. That's the only reason why I got this much time in it. It couldn't be because I was young. So, but that's a hurdle, and that's one of the things in this country.
We are gonna face hurdles.
As a black person, I got denied a job making $80,000 a year because you thought I got my certifications out of a jail program. Like,
so so you think that if it was a white person that had the background, they would have got hired? See how you add it as a black person, but you don't know that. They said that you didn't get hired because of the jail background. They told you because of the jail background. You can't take it face value. But not, and it could be.
But who said he was in jail though?
What I did in the jail program? I've never been in jail. I don't even have a record. I don't have.
That's what I'm saying.
So all right. I get it now. So you saying that they assumed that you was in jail, right?
Yeah.
And then after we did the video chat interview, right?
Right. I get it.
Went well. We did the video chat interview. 2 days later, he said she went with somebody else because she thought I got my certifications out of a jail program and that I got my record expunged because when they did my background, I didn't have anything on my background. So you went to jail, you got money, you got a lawyer, you got your record expunged, and you got it out of a jail program. She doesn't want people who've been to jail at her site. So it's just like, what other reason do you want me to look at that and say because I'm black? Because I feel like if it was white, you wouldn't have had an issue with it. But for me,
it could be. That could be. She could. She could definitely put on the application that she didn't want you because she was black. But and you're right. That's a hurdle. But that don't mean you quit. That don't mean you
stop. That's what he's saying. That's what he's saying.
Quit. That's what I'm saying. I'm not gonna quit. I'm not gonna quit searching for jobs because of that. But it is the same thing with Johnny Drip. Johnny Drip we're talking about. It's a hurdle, and I think that's one of the things. Is I agree with Coach A. We have to stop saying that they're holding us back because, and honestly, when somebody's holding you back, you're not moving forward. You know what I'm saying? It's just like we have to jump over more hurdles. So I do teach my nieces and nephews that because you're black, you're gonna have to do twice as much to get half as much as these white people.
So let me tell you. So let me tell you what I would have told you in that situation. I would have said, I would have told you to tell. Did you get to talk to the lady, or you never got a chance to talk to her? But you talked to her before, right? I would have never stopped reaching out. I would have been annoying because the world has a way of opening up to people that is consistent and constant. If that was the job you wanted, right? You should have never stopped. Even to today, right now, you should still be sending applications or resumes or whatever to get the job you want. If that's the job, it wasn't in your heart. It wasn't in your heart to really get it. You were just fishing. Like, oh, okay, this is an opportunity for me to make 85. It wasn't in your heart to get it. If it was in your heart to get it, you don't stop. The point is you don't let nobody stop you from getting what you want.
And also the point is, if you could have got in there, you could have been a change for somebody else in the future too. Just randomly speaking.
So how is he gonna get in there? Because one, it seems like she's already racist. So how is he gonna continuously to send his resume to call this lady if she already told him no to begin with? If that was me. If that was me and I told you no, I'm gonna keep telling you no. I'm gonna tell you no because you keep calling back.
No, you're not.
Keep saying no.
No, you're not.
I like that idea.
No, you're not. No, you're not.
How you
the
gonna
human
tell
mind
him
because I studied
no?
the human mind. I've studied, and you guys know that somebody can annoy you so much that you just give them a shot. Like
So
I
I'm
had
gonna
this
tell
dude,
you
Chris.
one thing that
Chris
can't
called me.
nobody tell me about me is my body. Cause it's mine. I'm gonna tell you no every time.
No, you won't. No, you don't.
No.
I bet these closest people to you got stories where you changed your mind.
Nah, he ain't
man.
nah.
He said no.
Sure.
He said no. You ain't changed your
It's just
mind.
one of those things.
Everybody
Where
has it.
Listen,
whenever you
Coach,
make up your
Coach.
mind, that's it.
Listen. When Nick made up his mind, Nick made up his mind. Ain't no questions asked. Now, Nick, you did say that you were gonna keep saying no. No, Nick gonna say no once or twice, and then he ain't even gonna answer his phone. You did what I'm saying?
Growing up, we used to say it was either Nick way or the highway.
Or the highway. It's Nick way or the highway. So you can't
and
say
that's
that.
since we was like 10 years old.
Everybody's different. So I mean, I like the idea. Like Jimmy
But I
said,
also
I like
think
the
that's
idea.
the different
Yeah, that's a good idea.
That's a good idea. Yeah.
But Stokes' situation is different from the situations that we thinking of. Like if I put in the application somewhere, I'm gonna be consistent to keep calling them back and
But you want to know what?
up.
But since we're adding variables to this, let's add another variable. Since everybody adding variables,
what variable?
What if she's not the only person that's hiring?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
That's when you go to
somebody else who has influence on hiring you,
and then that's Coach A's idea. Where that's a great idea. Okay, let me go another route instead of going to this one particular person.
I think let me break it down. It's one of them jobs where like he hit me up because it was like, hey, listen, we got a dude that's about to retire. So he basically broke it down. Bro, I got in because of my dad. So it's like these jobs don't open up because basically you're going in and you're remodeling office buildings, and they pay a whole lot down here in Dallas. So it's like people don't quit these jobs. You know what I'm saying? People stay on these jobs. So we have one opening right now, and I'm putting you in to get an interview. So she done already told me no. There's no more openings for this job, and it's in Dallas, Texas. There's no. I'm gonna keep applying. So for you to say yes, for me to move down to Dallas, Texas, and then for you to give me your ass to kiss and then fire me 2 weeks later after I move. There's not just me shooting across town. I'm moving 4 states over. You know what I'm saying? That's a 2.5-hour flight, like a 13-hour drive. I'm far away from everything that I know. So it's like I got one shot to get this right, and I don't want to be down there because I annoyed you. Now, what Coach A's saying, if it was like at Tropicana, hell yeah, I'd be blowing you up. You gonna hire me?
So you right. You moving 4 states and that, but to her, you just an application that came across her desk. And that's the challenge, is that you have to show her that you are not just an application that come across. So
she already made her mind up.
She could have,
She already mind up. She made her mind up after one interview, after one looking at me. Because what happens is they see the application name and they see good old Michael on there, and they think, oh, okay, we got a good one. And then bow, here comes my
you automatically made your mind up. That's what it was.
Nah, but
your mind was made up. I didn't get this job. You know, she was disrespecting me or whatever she did. So you made your mind up. I don't even care anymore.
But
that's
just
the
like
only thing that was made up.
Just like what Jody just said, like my mom named all us our names for a reason. You talking about Nicholas Smith, Brandon Smith, and Nathan Smith. When you see that come across your desk, you don't think black.
When I say
you
Brandon,
really
I think black.
Huh?
When I say Brandon, I think black.
That's because you know me, Jimmy.
But she did that for a reason, and that's probably what Jody talking about. Right. They seen his name and they say, oh, okay, we got qualifications, we got a good name. Let's see what he look like next. And it was like, bam.
We do the phone. We do the phone, and then here come my black behind. Now then it's just like, man. So then all of a sudden it's like, well, how you got all these certifications? How have you been an HVAC? How you been HVAC certified for 14 years and you only 33? Because I was in school.
Did you tell him?
HVAC certified when I was in school. She asked her all these questions, and it's like, it was like she started asking questions, and I was like, I got certified in school. Oh, what school did you go to? MTI. Well, and she's like, well, we don't see that on our thing no more. I was like, because it's not. They changed it to MTC. It's not MTI no more. But when I went, it was MTI. Now it's MTC. And she's like, Okay. And you could kind of tell like she really wasn't feeling me. And it was just like I got that vibe. And it's just like I know, Coach, you want me to be positive. And it's like it's hard to be positive when as black people we've been taught to spot racist situations. So
yes.
So it's
that's
like,
the problem.
Be positive, but at the same time, I'm not gonna play stupid either. I'm not gonna sit there and let you like try to think positive when you looking at me and you're like, okay, because it seemed like
so
the moment I got on the thing, you seem very disinterested.
What AC? Did you have an AC job beforehand?
Yeah, I've been working on the same job. I worked at an apartment complex for 4 years, and I've been working for Bell's Maintenance and Construction for the last 5 years.
But not a direct air conditioning job.
I never had a direct air conditioning job, but I spent.
So this was your first. This was your first shot at a direct air conditioning job.
It wasn't even a direct air conditioning job. It's a construction job where you remodel offices. So it wasn't. It's like AC was part of the job. So it's like just like AC is a part of this job. AC has been a part of my other 4 jobs, which I've been doing for 14 years. And it's like it's almost like, damn, he's black, he's young, he's been doing this for 14 years. Jail certification. And that's what she said. Those are the words that came out of her mouth. I'm not speculating. This is exactly what he told me. And I don't think my boy would lie to me. He's like, bro, she didn't hire you because she thought you got your certifications out of a jail program. She straight up said that. And she thought you got your jail certifications, and she thinks you got your record expunged because when they did the background check, they didn't find anything. So she thinks that you got your records expunged and you got your certifications out of a jail program. That seems like
he talked to her. So why your boy ain't convince her or tell her? If he the one talking to her about you, he should have been the one to tell her.
Because I told him, like, don't argue for my job, mess around and get you fired. You know what I'm saying? It's like you'll get fired for trying to help a nigga. Obviously, she don't like people of my kind. So like, don't get yourself fired trying to help me. You know what I'm saying?
It get to a point where there's no point.
The job. Yeah. But it's just like I got a stable job. I'm good where I'm at. It just seemed like a nice little upgrade from what I was already doing. It seemed like a different change of scenery. So that's what I figured. I appreciate you.
That's unfortunate.
But don't mess yourself up.
Yeah.
Don't mess yourself
that's
up.
Unfortunate.
You know what I'm saying? Trying to go to bat for me. Like, nah, don't do that. Because, you know what I'm saying? You get yourself fired. You know what I'm saying? You got to
But she talking to him, though.
You can't change
Yeah, I get
Coach,
it.
Stop it, Coach. You trying.
I'm sorry that happened to you. Sounds like smells like trauma.
No, we not gonna do that, Coach. Yeah. We not gonna do that.
I'm ready. But
he said that on deep third. Talking some Dante had trauma. Shout out to Dante on deep third, man.
Hey, on the light note, I got a positive story, guys.
What's up, bro?
Okay, what's up, bro?
I worked in a place where an Indian lady hired the majority of black convicts.
Hey, that's what's up.
And the store was in the top 5 in the region.
That's what's up.
With convicts. That's convicts.
That's what's up.
I don't get it. I mean, convicts is human too. They do great work.
No, but you know the negative outlook that people have on convicts.
Yeah,
they don't want
because of the way you telling your story. Like,
it's a positive story.
Strange.
Hey, people give shots to people. Don't forget the negative outlook. And they were some of the hardest working people that you'll ever meet. So hire convicts, man. They want a chance, man. They want a chance, man. Hey, but on that note, everybody, thank y'all for joining us, man.
Thank y'all, man. This is an awesome
That was a
conversation.
nice way to cut it short, Jim.
Hey, man, y'all like, subscribe, share, comment. We appreciate all that love, man. We had so much love in the comments today. The Jimmy hit us. Listen, Jimbo hit us with that one because we didn't even discuss talking about that. So Jimbo hit us with that one, and we all got a little bit into that though.
I ain't gonna lie, that was like the majority of the reason why I wanted to do it. I wanted to talk about that, but everybody, introduce yourselves, man. We on the way out, man. Chef Jimbo in the house, man.
And you got B right next to Chef Jimbo.
You got Nick.
You got Nate.
Coach A.
Johnny Drip.
It's the toxic.
Everybody say hello to trauma.
wasn't worried about me last year. When the cashier sent me to my car when I came short, now I got the game torn. They either hate it or love it. Slim chances on advances, I just balanced the budget. Fuck it, free my niggas on my Harriet Tubman. They said I'd never be the greatest, that's a scary assumption. But now I'm buzzing like the last shot. Got these lames tired, old niggas about to pass.